Folks, we at least got a little bit of movement in the House. We have got possible impeachment of Joe Biden starting immediately, and or impeachment inquiry starting immediately. And I think it's only due to people like Chip Roy and Matt Gaetz putting the pressure on Kevin McCarthy. I don't think Kevin McCarthy would have ever impeached Joe Biden, would have ever gone for this without the pressure he's getting from the Freedom Caucus. And that is the absolute truth. I just kind of losing faith in Kevin McCarthy at this point. He has been good so far on some levels, but at the same time, where's the J6 footage? Where's these empty promises being fulfilled? For example, like I said, the J6 footage. There's many things that Kevin McCarthy has promised us, including that we will take our appropriations bills and do them individually. That way, everything doesn't get lumped together on this debt ceiling bullshit, this appropriations bill bullshit they're trying to pass by the end of the month to basically keep the government open. See, when you put a big package like that together and you do it all the different budgets into one package, it forces everybody to have to vote on it because there's things in there that you can't literally do without. But the right answer would be, like Kevin McCarthy promised, to do each bill individually with appropriations for whatever the funding is being appropriated for. So during the last several months, the Appropriations Committee, the 9-member committee, should have been doing their due diligence to come up with bills that would help not just balance the budget, but cut spending and take away some of these people's paycheck. I'm talking about Merrick Garland, Blinken, Alejandro Mayorkas. You can get them down to $1 a week paychecks if you just defund them in that way. There's actually a lot of things they can do to defund these agencies. That is one of the few powers that the House has, is the power of the purse. And if they're not going to use it properly, then Kevin McCarthy needs to go. Kevin McCarthy, if he agrees to basically push through all this spending, appropriations, to continue to do business the way they've been doing it, including the prosecution of Trump. See, all that stuff needs to be defunded. That's just a fact, folks. And if Kevin McCarthy doesn't have any intentions of actually putting anything into it other than just threats, he's not the right man for the job. So, it may end up getting really tumultuous over the next couple of weeks because of the fact of the matter, it's a very good possibility that Matt Gaetz will be throwing a House vote up on speakership against Kevin McCarthy pretty soon, probably in the next week or two, if Kevin McCarthy doesn't get on board with everything Matt Gaetz has demanded of him this week. And I put out a video about that earlier in the week. But here, I've got Trump speaking to Megyn Kelly. It's a 4-minute interview. It is a really outstanding interview. Just thought I'd share it with y'all. Megyn Kelly and Trump didn't get along too well over the way she handled him at one of the debates in the past, but since then I think they have reconciled, and Trump did an interview with her, and I just thought I'd share it with y'all. But before I get into that, I just want to say, I got my Trump shirt in, folks. Got my Trump shirt in. Never surrender, folks. It's a nice, comfortable t-shirt. Do not mind supporting Trump. It's actually the proceeds for anything you buy, from stickers to t-shirts, actually helps his, not just his campaign, but helps with his legal problems. See, they got stickers as well. I'm going to slap one of these on both the vehicles, folks. Never surrender. And that's a fact, folks. The momentum is building for Trump. I see it in so many different directions, with the Latinos, the blacks, just the music videos, just the people on TikTok that you would never imagine would be saying these things. Not against Trump, but actually for Trump. Now, we do not know exactly how this Hunter Biden deal is going to go down, but we do know at this point Hunter Biden has been indicted on 3 weapons charges, basically for lying about the gun more than anything, lying about the drug use with the gun, on the gun permit form. And so they basically avoided all the other charges, the FARA charges and stuff, the ones that would actually bring his daddy into the realm of the investigation. So they avoided all that, but there is still about a dozen possible charges they could throw at Hunter at any given time, including money laundering and racketeering and things of that nature. Speaking of racketeering, that RICO case that they're trying to throw at Trump and the other 19 defendants in Georgia, well, the judge today sided with Trump and the other 19 defendants and said there is no way possible that they're going to be able to try all these people with this RICO conspiracy all at the same time. This will not be 19 people sitting in front of a jury all being charged with basically the same crimes. Not going to work that way. It's unconstitutional to do it that way. And the judge said, no, we're going to have basically, looks like 19 separate cases here. In not necessarily cases, but 19 different situations when it comes to dealing with each individual charges on each individual person. I mean, this thing's going to drag out a lot longer, folks. We're talking about a year or two minimum to drag this thing out. We're talking about millions of pages of documents, an attempt to prosecute 19 people. This thing ain't going to happen before the election. I don't even see how that's even possible. But at any rate, let's go ahead and get into this video, folks.
Into President Biden. I know you were supportive of it. Some people believe this could do for him with Democrats what the indictments did for you with the Republicans, rally support around him. Do you think there's any risk of that?
Look, he's a horrible president. Our country is going to hell. Whether it's impeachment or not impeachment, this man is destroying our country at the border. He's destroying it economically. Inflation's way up now. You see what happened just today. That's up to them if they want to do impeachment or impeachment inquiry. I never had an inquiry. Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy, said, we're going to impeach him. They didn't do inquiries. They went out and they voted because they had the votes. And as usual, everybody votes, for the Democrats. It's a little bit easier. They didn't have Mitt Romneys of the world, and that's really nice because now he's not running today, as you know. He just announced. I think that's great for the Republican Party, for the country, and for Utah.
Love it.
But that's going to be up to them whether or not they want to do it. I have no idea whether they will or not. We do have a lot of other things, but it's quite important. And they did it to me. And had they not done it to me, I think, and nobody officially said this, but I think had they not done it to me, and I'm very popular in the region, they like me and I like them, the Republican Party, perhaps you wouldn't have it being done to them. And this is going to happen with indictments, too. They have fake indictments, and I think you're going to see that as time goes by. You're going to see Republicans, when they're in power, doing it. And it's a shame when that happens. I'm not in favor of that, but that's what's going to happen because that's human nature.
Would you do it if you became president again? Turn the indictment tables on the Dems?
Well, I would think about it differently. I would have never even thought of doing it, but now you certainly have to think about it differently. It doesn't mean I do it, because I think it's so bad for the country. Yesterday, President Putin of Russia used this as an example of what a rotten country we are, that they go after their political opponent.
Listen to this, folks. This is absolutely the truth. I read the transcript of Putin's conversation, and he's right. Putin's absolutely right here. No doubt about it. Our government is corrupt, and it looks bad. The whole world is watching.
And other countries are doing that too. Other countries that don't like us are doing that. They're saying it's the biggest story. They love it because it makes us look very bad. It makes us look very bad. And they're fake indictments. There's Fannie Willis and all of these people. These are all fake indictments. And I don't know how much my polls have gone. I was doing well before this, but I don't know what impact it's had on my polls. But we're way up above the Republicans, and we're way up on Biden.
Well, let's talk about the allegations against the Bidens for a minute, because this was something you tried to raise when you ran against Biden in 2020. I watched you at that presidential debate try to raise these very issues that now the House is investigating.
Right.
Why do you think that didn't gain traction?
Well, it's different when it's a Republican doing it and a Democrat. The press is fake news. I think I'm very proud of certain things. I've shown open borders, I've shown crime, I've shown a lot of things, but I've also shown that the press is fake. And if I say something, even if it's true, they don't want to talk about it. It's really what they don't talk about more than what they talk about. They don't talk about things. You know this better than anybody. I brought it up at the debate. Chris Wallace, who tried awfully hard to be his father, but he hasn't got the talent. And what happened, Mike Wallace, who was great, who interviewed me actually in 60 Minutes, he actually gave me probably the only good interview he's ever done, meaning a nice interview. He liked me and I liked him. He was a tough cookie, but he was good and a total pro. But Chris will never be that. But at the debate, he was moderating, and I said, what about the mayor of Russia's wife? He's the mayor of Moscow's wife. Now, you have the mayor of Moscow, him, married to a woman. He passed away, left her a vast fortune from being the mayor, okay? I mean, this is a nice way to make money. And she gave $3.5 million to Biden. And I brought that up during the debate, and Chris Wallace said, this has nothing to do with any... Well, now it's the biggest subject. Everyone's talking about it. And now they go back to that debate, and that debate's getting a lot of look-see. And it's a shame that they didn't do it. Chris Wallace should have never done what he did. He tried to stifle it. I mean, literally, I was like debating two people.